Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name is Adam, and I hope everyone's sitting comfortably because one person I know that might not be sitting comfortably this evening is my friend Baker. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Now we have to explain it.
You have to explain it. You have to explain this. There was no way I wasn't mentioning it.
Oh, well, you've seen the evidence. You've seen the evidence.
I wish I had it. I wish I had it to put on screen. That'd be brilliant. But go on. How was your day?
I got hit by a golf ball.
In the arse.
Not in the arse, in the sort of outer leg. Outer leg, but it hurts. Yeah.
Close
yeah.
enough.
A good friend of mine managed to top a freewood straight into the back of my leg. And I was like, oh, that's bad. And it's bad. and then when you get home, you sort of like I took the shorts off and I was like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah, because it just starts to grow. The bruise starts to grow. You wake up tomorrow, it'll be black all the way around outside.
If you notice, I'm sort of slightly leaning to the right. It's because I'm definitely keeping the weight off of that side tonight. So yeah, been a good weekend, really.
Brilliant. Golf aside, we're top of the league.
We're top of the league. We're top of the league.
We'll get that out there nice and early. Just while there's not as many people in, we'll just say we're top of the league. And how was your game week?
Oh, awful. Well, it's the week itself is a matter of a couple of decisions, really, isn't it? Like there was a load of people umming and ahhing about selling Sterling that had Sterling or didn't, and if you kept him, then that's just huge for you.
Yeah.
Keepers yesterday, the Johnston and Pickford. So for non-wild carders, they had an unbelievable day. And obviously most non-wild carders also captained Salah. So captained Son, obviously, as well. So that was the other big thing. And then today, obviously, I think the majority of wildcards, I captained Son. I was always captaining Son. Like, I was just all in. Like, once I had all three of them, I was like, yeah, I'm all in. I just wouldn't have felt comfortable any other way.
It was kind of a middling reaction, wasn't it, really, compared to because I gave it the full doomsday if everything went wrong type thing. And
no, I went all in.
You went all in. It could have been champagne and strawberries and everything like that, but it was kind of in between, wasn't
it? Yeah. And then anyone who had Mo and Son, like, they kind of knew. Like, they knew what they were getting into if they captained Son. Like, I knew what I was getting into. A 90-minute man versus a 70-minute man. We knew the injury things with Brighton. We knew that was there, but we also knew that Brighton are a much better team than Luton. I fancied Brighton to do Brighton to do Liverpool, and a few moments they almost did. But that doesn't stop Mo. You still expected Mo to get something from it. So yeah, once you went all on that, then that kind of made it like 1-1, didn't it, between the wild carders and non-wild carders, except for the few. Our friend Alon, he obviously still had Mo. He's had Mo since the start and still hasn't wild carded. So he had the lot. He had Johnston, he had Mo Cap, and he had Sterling. So I think he got like 91 points or something incredible. And that's the cool stuff. Like every week there's been some really amazing examples. Janny a few weeks back with
mate, he had Pau Torres, for Christ's sake.
Oh yeah, Pau Torres as well.
And Gay as well.
And Gahey. It's like the best week on earth. So they don't always have to even be the sexy picks.
Yeah.
So, no matter what happens in terms of your week, like, you don't need that many great weeks. I said a lot last season. I was like 30k, whatever it was, and I had like 4 good game weeks. Repeatedly said it. But you do need a few.
You need a few of the top weeks.
Yeah, God. And that's genuinely how I was approaching it in the week. I was like, it's Tottenham, it's against Luton. If it goes nuts, I'm in. And look, if Porro tucks away the early chance from Son, floodgates are open. That was one of the best 10 minutes you'll ever see from a team.
We can talk about that.
It's a whole different week, but that's half the game for it. But other than that, I haven't told you this, but I've sort of semi-retired myself on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Can I announce that one? I feel like I spend way too much time on Twitter, and I feel like I play the game quite differently to the majority of players. I think is I play golf and I play FPL really really similarly, and that I don't really care about anyone else. I just care about my own stuff. And other than that, I'm really happy for my mates. So I cheer every good shot. I don't really mind if they get more points than I do every week. I've never been competitive in golf, in that sense. I don't know. And I'm the same in FPL. Like every single player that I wouldn't say I'm happy for every person that does really well with it, because if they own players that are like 40-50% owned, I'm like, I don't really want that to happen for me.
Sure.
But if they're like a 10% owned and they get a 20 pointer and my mate's got it, I'm like, yes, well done, mate. Like I have nothing in me that's kind of that way. And I just feel like FPL Twitter is just like, it's just dicks out everywhere. That's genuinely what it is with our professional timeline. And I'm like, I'm not sure I need it as much as used to need it as much anymore. So I put it off my phone and I just got it on my iPad, because there's loads of good accounts that I want to go and see the stuff they want to do. But I was like, feel like I'm going to be a bit more selective going forward with it, rather than just for the sake of it. So apologies if I'm not as active on there, but it's just, and also maybe international break will change that.
Okay.
Yeah. Your weekend?
My weekend was it was good. I mean, the game week was good. Other than that, pretty quiet. Just prepping for holiday stuff. So I'm off to Turkey in a few days. So, looking forward to getting away with the family for the first time in quite a long time. So that's really, really important. But game week wise, obviously Salah changed everything. I'll bring the scores up actually so everyone can see where we're at, because obviously I took a -8 and did a load of moves. Strakosha in for money, Archer just for money, and then Trippier and Maddison, and came out pretty much net break even, but with a much nicer looking team going forward, and I can still make other moves as well. Obviously the Salah cap helped massively, just to solidify that, and everything else was a bit meh, to be honest. But Salah carries a lot of that weight.
Matt, you made really positive. I was really pleased with the moves you made. You made really positive moves, which aren't sexy. Do you know what I mean? Like some of them, in that sense, in that you like stripping money out of players is like, if you're like -8, it's like, yeah, but I've got 4 new guys for these ones. Yeah. That's not what you had. But
I had 2 guys.
Took good money out and got in some good things. Is Trippier is a big deal. Like, he's a big deal. And actually, you might be the last of the new Trippier owners, despite the game that repeatedly he's the best defender in the game by absolutely miles, because he's getting so expensive.
Yeah,
he's getting so expensive.
Unless
people sell Haaland.
This is true.
This
is true. We're past the main part of their good fixtures, right? I'm pretty sure 4 weeks ago I said that they could keep 5 clean sheets out of their next 6. They've kept 3 out of 4 so far, obviously not including today. So, we're coming to the end of that kind of mini honeymoon period for their fixtures.
But Trippier just shows today that he doesn't matter on fixtures.
Yeah.
Like they were garbage, really, effectively. West Ham should have hammered him, but he still put in 7 crosses today. He still did 5 key passes today.
Yeah, exactly. So 2 bonus after conceding 2 goals. Obviously, he got an assist, but yeah.
Even on the worst run of fixtures, I think you're going to struggle to take Trippier out now, because he's just so good. Yeah. Whereas I'm looking at him like, God, how do I ever get to that? So I think getting in when you did was brilliant. So the fact that you come out of it with a big haul, like I said, I was really pleased for it, because it paid.
Yeah.
Paid.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's still well bunched, mate. Like, it's not really a big pain, and you can get so many people getting like million rank gains in a week. Like, we'll have more and more of those.
Yep. So hello to everyone in the chat, because we haven't said hello to everyone in the chat first of all. Hope you're well, hope you're doing well, hope you've had a good game week. Put a poll in the chat, just let us know what your sort of early plans for game week 9 are. everyone's saying roll, which means that either you've just hit your wild card or you can't be asked and you're just gonna.
Everyone's saying roll out of an international break like they've never done it before.
Exactly.
Like it. Like this isn't a season where we have loads of injuries. Like, come on.
Exactly.
What we mean by roll is we're going to leave it a week. We're going to stop. Don't go near the app for a week. Don't do it. Don't face the points changes. Just get out of it for a week. No matter what happens, don't do it.
That's the best. That's the best way. Switch yourself off. Switch yourself off for a week. We're going to switch off for a week. So you guys do the same. And a lot of people are going to be doing the same. So that's a good thing to do.
When you're off on holiday?
Wednesday, yeah. So Wednesday drive down, Thursday fly, and then back on Tuesday.
Yeah. A week. I'm playing football. I'm playing football. I'm playing. Yeah, that'd be really fun. I'm playing golf with Gaza on Thursday.
That's quality.
I can't wait. Play golf with Gaza.
That's quality. When you said that, and I was like, no, I'm flying the day before.
I know. That'd be amazing.
It was almost perfect, but
yeah,
no, I'm actually flying on that day. Actually, I fly out on Thursday. So yeah, league update, because I don't know whether that looks funny on everyone else's screen, but that's just me. Maybe it's just my screen. I don't know.
That's points there. It's at 572 points. It's top of the league.
That's better. 572 points. So Anis Ben Salah, you are top of our public league, 572 points. Only played the wild card. So we're now getting to the point where we're seeing some, good managers come through. Tom White in second, 551. Ryan Easterby in third, 551. Jose Antonio Arian, fourth, 550 points. And then Harrison Radford in fifth, 548 points. There's a bunch of people down there. Top 10, 539 points. That's pretty damn good at this point of the season so far. And
500. This is a chance, mate. Like, this is 174th in the world. I've just seen it. Yeah. Absolute animal.
Yeah. It's a good start. Wow. We got some fairly decent scores in the old Discord league as well. So Richard Mellor's just taken top spot. Mark got top for September through a Twitter poll. I don't know whether you all saw that. Put out a random Twitter poll because Mark and Sam had the same score. I put it out there as a Twitter poll with no context whatsoever. Just let people vote between the team names, and Mark won that. But Dan in second in our Discord league as well. He's absolutely flying. And then Sam in third, Kevin fourth, and Darren in fifth. So shout out to you guys. And also there's a week to go to vote in the FCAs. So if you weren't aware, if you're hiding underneath a rock or something like that, we've been nominated as a finalist for the Football Content Awards under Best in Fantasy Football Podcast. Shows that you guys, enjoy what we do, and we really appreciate, the support that you guys give us. If you haven't done so already and you would like to, no, in fact, I'm telling you, go and do this. Go down to the voting link in the description below. Go down to Best in Fantasy Football Podcast and make sure you vote above average FPL. You have to do that by Sunday, 15th of October. So whilst we all do want to have a break, go and do that just before you switch off. That'd be great. And then all the normal YouTube stuff, right? Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Just, tick the buttons, click the buttons. And what are you drinking out of there today? Is that
water today, mate? I've got to get myself hydrated, get this bruise out of my leg, all that stuff.
I've got a Lemsip. Fun.
Yeah.
Oh. Right, so that's everything done. Where are we going to first? We're going to start with Brighton versus Liverpool. Thought it would be a good place to start just because, obviously, Salah, he's on the thumbnail, so let's put him out there first.
That picture of him is great as well, and he's like literally staring at his first goal.
Yeah, literally staring at it. Decent enough game, this. I mean,
Brighton have done Brighton things. Like if you just pretend this is a blue map only, like on this, you're like, they're still such a good team. When you looked at that lineup, you were like, this is a disaster.
Yeah, this is a horror show.
This is a dominant performance from Brighton. Through the game in terms of stages of what they've done. Considering the lineup, it's an unbelievable thing for them. I don't think they're going to go away, Brighton. I think everyone was like, this is the beginning of the end for them. I still back them to be in and around for the foreseeable.
It means we're just going to get some entertaining football games as well, front and back.
I think, what we do see though is
it makes a massive difference having Solly March and Pascal Gross back though.
Yeah.
In that line, huge difference.
Huge. But what we have seen, and we've seen this repeatedly, is when you put Darwin Núñez into the team, you immediately end up with bigger chances. Somehow, like repeatedly, whether they go to him or they go to somebody else, because he's so direct, because he stretches teams, because he's just a nightmare for them. They will get 3-4 big chances for them. Salah obviously puts the first one away. Good, really good for this. That's total wheelhouse in it, just for him with his left foot off that side. I thought the penalty's a massive plus for Mo. I don't know if you saw the angle from behind, but he couldn't have made it more obvious where he was going to put it. Like he was really? I'm putting this in the left-hand side. My body's there. I'm going that way. But if you looked at the graphic,
though that they showed before he took the penalty, obviously he'd missed one left, he'd missed one sort of central, and these other three were all central. And I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. When he's taken those penalties recently, it was a case of I'm not missing the target. Like that was how he was taking it before.
I'm just going to hit it hard.
I'm going to hit it hard down the middle. Get the keeper dives out the way, hopefully. And then that way I can just build a bit of confidence back. Once you start going wide again, that shows more confidence to me, definitely. And if he can go both sides,
he clearly picked a side. Yes. Like he was like, I'm actually putting a side. You're like that. Like that's a big deal. That clearly says he's there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He just didn't even hide it. He was like, I'm putting it there. Keeper knew he was putting it there, but it was so quick. Jamie Vardy used to be like that. Like he was so obvious which side he was going, but he was like, I don't care if you know where I'm going. It's too good.
Yeah.
So that's a huge plus on Mo. It feels like he's got that off his back now. And then you've got obviously the big spike, which is Gravenberch on his monster miss. Yeah. Other than that, like I say, Liverpool didn't create huge numbers. It's 3 really big chances. It equals like 1.9 of their 2.5 XG. But that's because they're away at Brighton, are a really good team.
Yeah.
Man. Early thinking. We've got 2 weeks to go to learn this once. But bearing in mind, we don't know if Son can do 75 minutes, and bearing in mind just City in general today, and the fact that Brighton is a good team and they'll be better in 2 weeks. They'll have more people that they've had time on the field with. Mo's the early kickoff. Can you see past him?
Against Everton?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be an open game, that one. Like, it's going to be really open. Everton are front foot at the moment. Like, I know they've had the fix just to be that way, so maybe we see something different from them, but I don't think they haven't got enough quality, I don't think, to sit back and handle this. I mean...
I feel like I'm trying to bait you into a Mikalenko conversation again. We got told off about you smashing into Mikalenko.
Did I?
Yeah, there was a comment on there that you need to leave him alone.
Oh, do I?
You need to leave Mikalenko alone.
No, absolutely.
Well, he's got Salah next. He's got Salah next.
Good luck. Good luck.
Early game.
You're not going to throw the Gandhi at me, are you?
I know everyone's going to go on about this early game stuff, but Ollie Watkins got 23 points last week.
Nobody mentioned that.
Nobody mentions that stuff, do they?
No. Well, that's because he wasn't an obvious captaincy choice. That's why. It only happens when it's an obvious captaincy choice. Is that the rules?
Who was he playing last week?
Yeah, Brighton. Just keep captaining players. So, yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
Outside of Salah, is there any point in going anything defensive at all on Liverpool for now? Are we still sort of wait and see, and it's too much money, and
it's so much money in it. Trent looks so much fun where he is, but I think you can wait. You can wait, but I don't see a world with it. Obviously, Darwin and Diaz are great options, but they're not the main option. And he's just just so involved, and he's obviously getting the bonus. He's doing all the stuff. Like, I don't know whether you do need to double up on Liverpool attack. I don't know, but
you just feel like the run is so Nunes just facilitates a good Salah, and that's good enough.
The run is so good, man. Though.
Yeah, Andy Mack saying Haaland captain because they've got Brighton coming up next game week.
Yeah.
Okay. On to the. I mean, I've put this second, and actually, I put this second before I even realised like how bad this chart is, and I realised that the game was dull.
Oh mate, it was bad.
It's just misery. It did feel like a bit of a chess match, and you know, it was tight. It was boring. I mean, it should have been. We'll start it now. Kovacic shouldn't have been anywhere near the pitch that second half. He should have been off in the first half. Whether you think it was a red, it probably was a red card, and definitely should have gone for a second yellow, regardless. And so I guess the thing is that now will be squashed, right? No one's going to talk about that because Arsenal won the game. Like, it doesn't really matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for FPL. It doesn't matter really. But it, yeah. I mean, the first one, I don't know, because Odegaard clearly wasn't hurt as well. Do you know what I mean? He was like very obviously not hurt. Like it wasn't going to be a case of you were like, oh my God, Odegaard's going to go off.
It's one of those down the Achilles though, and I hate those.
Yeah. But it is horrible. Like, we saw it last week. You can't really hugely win a little bit, Michael Oliver, here, because obviously Curtis Jones goes off early last week, and this is the same deal. And everyone, says, oh, it ruined the game that someone went off after 30 minutes type things. And then you're like, oh, it's the biggest game on earth. They've tried to put their head down as much as they could, the refs today, and not send people off in the first half, because that second one, and it's exactly the same in the Newcastle game, Bruno Guimaraes should be just gone.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, and it's just been like, I'm not going to make that decision. And you're like, because this is a good game. I don't want to make that decision.
It was also, was it not at all because of there was an independent panel or some bullshit that said that Jota shouldn't have been sent off because of the second challenge?
What is going on? And what is going on with having that panel and leaking that stuff like that? None of it's any good for anyone. And so these guys have made preconception. They're like, don't send someone off. Don't send someone off for 2 yellows. Don't send someone off 2 yellows. Don't do that. Don't do that. Unless it's against Luton, because then it's okay. Because it's not like you should send him Basuma off and so forth. But against the underdog, that's fine.
Yeah, or in the 95th minute, it's okay.
Or in the 95th minute.
Sorry, Lamine.
Do you know what I mean? Then it's fine. Oh, if either of those two tackles, the Guimaraes, or like 5 minutes later, the other side of the half, then they're straight off. It's just a bit crap. But yeah, he should have been sent off. Regardless on it though, this is a tougher run for Man City. They have no width. They have no width at all because of the fullbacks. So fullbacks don't get forward. We've gone from Cancelo with 100, crosses in one season to just meh.
Yeah.
From the fullbacks. Then they have these two midfielders that are there to sort of like break the lines and so forth. And Rodri's obviously just ridiculous. And I know you understand it, but no Gundogan and no KDB it's just a huge, huge loss. No matter what Foden, Bernardo, Doku, Grealish, whichever ones you want to use around it do, they're just not as good, as those was. Everything good I thought was just around Alvarez for the first 60 minutes. He was the one that looked like he was going to try and make something happen at all times. But everything else was like, ugh, just it's...
Isn't this the second game in a row that Haaland had no shots?
He's not going to make it himself, is he? He doesn't go around 3 players and do this or bang 30 yarders in. He relies. You've got a world-class finisher that relies on chance creation, and if your players aren't making the chances, it's a problem.
Yeah,
it's a problem. We shall see. Rodri will be back. It's not Rodri's creativity that does it. It's the fact that Rodri goes past a player and then it's like, oh, now we've got an outnumber. Now I can get it out to someone. They've got the space, and that's what they miss today. But you can't get past that. There's just not enough creativity in that team.
Yeah, agreed.
They're grinding. They're grinding, and we don't really want a huge amount. But if you were wild carding now, would you have Haaland in?
No, probably not.
It's actually, though, if you have got Haaland in, it's so many moves to get him out.
To get him out? What? Because you want to prop up elsewhere, and
you're like, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
Like, I looked at it, was like, if I go Haaland to Watkins, for example, I get 6 million.
6 million. So then you need to probably change 2 more players.
Yeah. So I want Saka for game week 10. That's good. I probably have to double up on Arsenal midfield because, again, Bruno and Rash.
It's just rubbish, isn't it?
It's a tough game. It's a tough call. Yeah. And it's home to Brighton.
It is.
It's home to Brighton. But it does make it maybe that rolling in 9 if you can, so that it opens up, because I suspect a lot of game week 10 wildcarders will make the jump.
Well, there's something to be said about taking your wild card and then rolling and then taking a -8. It does work occasionally.
It does work occasionally. It does work occasionally. So, yes, toughie.
Moving on. Tottenham 1, or Luton 0, Tottenham 1, however I want to read that out. Weirdly frustrating game, and a massive relief at the end of it, as Spurs fans, obviously.
So tense.
That first 15 minutes, this is hilarious. The first 15 minutes, I was just like, I said downstairs, I was watching it on the TV, and I went, this is absolute fire. I'm loving this. And
best 15 minutes last season.
What wife is like 5 yards away. She looked up at the TV, went, yeah, but it's Luton. Which is true.
Yeah.
Which is true.
It
but
is true.
we should have been 3-0 up and clearing away in, like, Richarlison at the end of the day. And as you say, if Porro puts away the chance from Son, then it's dreamland. I think there was a Maddison-Son combination at some point as well.
Yeah. Yep.
There was all sorts of FPL combinations going on in that first half.
This is the bit where I get like, we're not football analysts. Me and you aren't football analysts. And 90% of the people, if not 99% of the people that you would see on Twitter and likes, like, everyone's going to be like, oh, Tottenham, we can't play low blocks. We can't do all this. It's like saying that it's like saying coaches don't exist. Do you know what I mean? It's like saying Ange isn't going to go. Ange is going to go, do you know what? We might need to do some stuff this week because the last couple of weeks it's been a bit difficult. Like, coaches are good, man. They know what they're doing. And they just ripped them apart. But it's the same as anything in football. We knew it. We sort of called it. We were chatting away, during the game. And after like 15 minutes, when you then don't put them in, you just start to get that pace of, well, we should be. The game should be over. We should be away. So therefore, you then start. They just started trying to overplay the balls. They were so
like Van der Ven shooting from 35 yards. It's like, well, why? Why you do?
It got proper desperate after like 20 minutes of it. After 20 minutes and creating 1.5 XG and not scoring, suddenly we were like, we'll try it. Oh crap, because it's Luton. That's exactly how we played. It got disrespectful. We didn't trust the process. We didn't carry on with it. I mean, obviously, you end up with a man then sent off, and
yeah, because I think if that doesn't happen, Ange takes them in at half time, resets them, and says, like, first 15 minutes excellent. Just go do that for the rest of the game.
Go do that. That's exactly all it would.
Just needed to be reminded that that's what we need to do. But then, obviously the first Biss yellow card was a bit silly. Definitely yellow, and then like the dumbest dive you'll ever see, like just ridiculous. It was just stupidity.
He's got to cut out those first ones though. He does that all the time of just, I'm going to pull someone back and take a yellow, and you're like, why are you doing that, mate? Like, just don't.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So yeah, unbelievable. Like I say, you would imagine because it was just stopping to execute the process, it would have been the same thing. Start of that second half if it was 11v11, but it wasn't. And therefore, if you own Son and Matters, and your captain Son, you were done. But they're clearly both managing. They're both managing injury. Like we can't get away from that. And the game for the next game week, I'm not sure if we'll get the presser or not because it's a Monday night.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to get enough from it to be able to understand, whether they're captainable about the home to Fulham.
Yeah.
But
I think thankfully there's better fixtures. They're not. I mean, as you say, well, I suppose if you're not on Salah,
I'm not sure they're better fixtures than home to Fulham. I'm not sure it's better, but it's it.
I don't
if
know.
you only get 80% of that fixture, if you only really get like 80% of it,
but that's
especially
like 3
with
games
the
in a row
amount
now.
of injury time,
and 3 games in a row now.
It's too impossible unless someone comes out and physically says he's fine and he's going to play 90 minutes from here on in. You can't trust it.
Yeah,
can't trust it. Can't trust it. So yeah, well, I would say in that first half, like Son's pressing was fantastic. Like there was no shortness of pace in the press in that first 15, 20 minutes. He was quick. He almost caught Kaminsky multiple times. He's not doing that unless it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But he ain't gonna get no rest, mate. He's off to Korea. So that's again.
We will see. We will see.
Yeah. Don't bring him in. Defense. Look,
I think it's just Porro. That's clear now. I mean, even Udogie looked tired. He looked tired. I mean, I know we were down 10 men, but he looked tired 60 onwards.
I would say if I was wildcarding, like Udogie would be the lower of all 4 that I would go for. I would genuinely be looking more
I'd have Romero too. I'd have Romero too behind Porro. Porro, Romero, and then I wouldn't. I mean, after that,
their baseline is so good, mate, because they're so progressive. These are unbelievable. If you're not watching full games and not actually watching how good Van der Ven and Romero are in terms of aggressive passing, this is like madness. It's the closest to like the Van Dijk and Matip type partnership where you had 2 progressive passers that were just absurd bonus, like 17, 18 on the baseline every week. But you then don't have the fullbacks that are hugely crossing. So those fullbacks, the centre backs, they're gonna get a lot of bonus this season.
Yeah,
they're gonna get a lot. And it's also
this is the first game. This is the first game this season we haven't scored 2 goals in, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So obviously,
caveat that we're not going to score 2+ goals every game.
No strikers.
That's possible.
But no strikers in our team.
That's true.
No strikers in our team. Like this is perfect. They're perfect bonus material. Those defenders.
Yeah. If you get anywhere near a return, then you're there.
Yeah.
Like any return, you're there.
Really, really good assets.
We're top of the league.
Top of the league.
Let's move on. Man United 2, Brentford 1. The fucking McTominay just turning up just like it's an international break. Like I swear he disappears off to play for Scotland and just scores goals. And then just turns up and scores 2 ridiculously late finishes to turn it round here. Jensen's been creeping up as well, goals wise. Got like 4 in his last 6 or something like that.
Takes all the set plays virtually now. He's often in front of.
Let's not pretend that his goal yesterday was any good. I mean, like Onana is like one of the worst keepers I've ever seen. Like United fans, genuinely, you're looking at this and thinking this is an upgrade on De Gea. Like it's bad. It's proper bad.
It's bad. It's bad. Look, we can spend all the time in the world saying that Man United is a big problem, but they got away with the one game. You know, you can look. We've been very clear that we don't think that Ten Hag's the right man for this job, and I still don't think it's right. In fact, that McTominay then basically just said that it was Beckham that inspired him to go on and do the business. Wasn't
wasn't the boss.
What the manager said. But I do think there is part of it that he needs the players that are buying into what he wants to do. You know, Ten Hag started saying stuff about like he was on the front foot, he was on the front foot, he was on the front foot. That's what I want. And he's continually said that. Garnacho was the same. When Garnacho came on, he was proper on the front foot. And Anthony, you know, whatever anyone thinks about him, he is very similar in that he will run and he will go at it. Would I be surprised if they just went McTominay at 10 and Haaland in front of him and Garnacho and Anthony? Maybe. You know, taking fair play, like taking Casemiro off, he's taking Mount off, he's taking Rashford off. Like he's making it clear that you're not doing what I want you to do. This could be huge because the next game, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do if you own these players and they've got Sheffield United next? I think you have to take. I think you have to take the gamble on the Man United players if you own them for next week, because the week after it's just such an easy move to the Arsenal players. You've locked in. You've got the value to go to a Martinelli, go to a Saka, go to an Odegaard. I think I would keep him.
I think it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You don't sell players ahead of Sheffield United.
Nah.
Because we know how bad these teams are at the bottom of the table. Like I think Burnley have probably shown a bit more, but Luton, Sheffield United, and Bournemouth all horrible right now.
Yeah. Unless certainly on Bruno. On Bruno, you definitely don't sell. If anything, there's an opportunity you could bring Bruno in. But
really, are you thinking like wild card and then move out, or just bring him in?
The fixtures are still fantastic.
Fulham and Luton the other side of the City game is true.
I mean, they're so bad up set pieces. If McTominay's playing, what's McTominay 4.8? I think he is something like that. 4 point. Probably. Yeah, I think it's 4.8 now. Like if you wanted to go 4-3-3 as a way of, I'm going to drop him down to get my third striker up to Watkins, it genuinely isn't the worst. There could be people.
I can't hang my hat on someone that's played pretty much about 20 minutes this season.
But if you just want him for one game and that's all you're going to see him. Like the one thing I did notice from Man United is that Man United put in 35 crosses in this game. Like, so Newcastle have Trippier. Yeah. How many crosses do you think Newcastle put in today?
15.
12. Liverpool, I think, put in 14 today. Like 35 crosses. He was the only one that was stacking him in the box. If they're gonna do 35 crosses, and he plays Sheffield United.
9 minutes.
But
it was desperate. It was desperation time. I think there's a bit of game state.
Next game,
there's a bit of game state there. It's one of those like 1-0 down going into injury time. They're just firing stuff in from right back, left back. You know, these deep crosses. That's stat padding for me. I'm not having 35 crosses as a thing to get McTominay in. I'm not having that.
It's Sheffield United. I'm saying Sheffield United. If you were looking to move to 3-4-3 and you thought I'm never playing the guy again,
you'd need to know he's playing though. I still think you would know he's playing.
You would need to know he's playing. But do you not think they're going to ask him? Do you not think they're going to ask him about McTominay after he's done this?
Probably. And I don't know who Scotland have got in the international break, but he'll probably score.
Because he always does.
I bet he scores because he always does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. Our boy in goal got the game because of the virus for Flecken.
Which I saw that he's out until mid-November.
What?
Someone sent something in our Discord. So there was a tweet. Hold on a second. I'll just find it. There was a tweet that came from Talk Bees. Mark Flecken is out until mid-November with an undisclosed illness, not COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, talkbees_. I have no idea whether that source is any good whatsoever.
It's got a little gold medal next to it.
Yeah. Scotland have Spain. Well, they beat Spain 2-0 last time, so easy game.
Well.
Easy game. So yeah, Flecken could be out for a while. I mean, again, that's an unconfirmed source for Strakosha. But
it's worth watching.
Just being aware of it.
I wondered how Flecken was keeping his place for as long as we talked about how bad he was, but Strakosha was terrible.
Yeah.
It was proper terrible. He was proper terrible. He parried everything. It was rubbish for the winner. He's rubbish.
Yeah.
So if Flecken is out, that's not a good thing if you own Brentford, boys.
No, that's but they do have Burnley in game week 9.
Yeah.
I just wish he'd shown something. I tweeted it out. I wish he'd shown something really solid here and given me that thought over whether to go him over Areola, because that could have been fun. But I mean,
because
Areola's Villa.
I've literally put Flecken in on wildcard a few weeks, looking at it going, well, I don't want to play Areola away to Villa.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Spain and France. Scotland have got Spain and France.
Yeah, exactly. He scores against Spain and France, you'd be all over him.
Yeah, he does. He's the most transferred in player. Yeah, exactly, Mahoney. You will be.
Yeah.
Definitely. He scored a brace against Spain in March. Yeah, exactly. This is my point. This is the point.
McSauce.
He loves it.
All over the McSauce, mate. All over it.
I actually saved this photo as McSauce. I had a different one of him, and I saved that under McTominay. This one is actually called McSauce.
McSauce, mate. Let's move on to West Ham Newcastle.
Let's do that. I love the expressions Isak gives when he scores goals. I just love it. They just make for the best photos.
He's just cold as ice, and he's just good. I just like him. Just really like the player.
Yeah.
I really like Wilson.
It's easy to say you really like Isak because he went to Newcastle and because he didn't go to Arsenal. I think it's nice to say.
He's just cool, isn't he? He's proper cool. And mate,
it's a weird dynamic, this West Ham with no striker thing, because I didn't really know. Souček just pops up out of absolutely nowhere for that, and obviously he's got all the space in the world because Pope's out traveling somewhere. It was hilarious. I'm pretty sure I saw a commentator say that Emerson saw Pope coming and took a good touch. Didn't even look at him. Didn't even know he was there whatsoever. It was a bad touch. Well, it wasn't a bad touch.
When he decides to come, he don't think, does he? His brain just disengages. Do you remember the one against Liverpool sent off?
When he comes out and handballs it and whatever else.
Yeah, just no brain, just goes. Yeah, they're a funny team, West Ham. They're a good team. And they were pushing for the win at the end.
Yeah, they just don't. They just didn't look like they passed the ball today.
No, I like Kufau. I think Kufau's still a really good budget option for her. He's getting, so far. He's getting back to what we saw. So getting further forward. We've got Ward-Prowse in his team, and it's like, mate, we're just hoping for set piece central.
It felt like he was deeper today, because obviously if Souček's the one driving, because he used to be a striker, didn't he?
Yeah,
he used to be a striker, and so he's going to be the one driving into the box.
I think just the bigger games. I think he's just James Ward-Prowse is going to sit, but we all know anyone with him, you can't predict the points. It'll happen when it happens, and it then won't happen for a long time. It's just not a great option. We've probably got to move that on. Even with some good fixtures coming up, we've probably got to move that on.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I've got other things to do. I've still got Rashford and I've got Doku.
Yeah.
So he's not at the top of my list.
-8's the way forward for you, mate. This is the way. This is the good content. This is how we get people tuned into the team selection. -8.
Well, Luis Diaz could be an option.
Yeah,
get in there.
Yeah.
Everton, Forest,
the other big deal of Liverpool, isn't it, is how well Núñez and Diaz travel, and that we know they're back, we know they're training, all that stuff, and hopefully we get a leak on it.
Yeah,
hopefully we get a leak on it. But
anyway,
Isak. Isak's.
But we also, I know Wilson obviously was fit / playing. Do we not get a similar situation with Dortmund and who else do they have in their group? Oh no, they've got Man U in the Carabao.
Yeah. So we've got one midweek straight after.
Yeah,
one
exactly.
Lot.
So United feels like a Wilson game. You feel like Wilson will probably get the Palace game. I don't know. Am I reading too much into that?
It's like game week 9. Yeah, it's so tough.
Like Wilson gets Palace, Isak gets Dortmund, Isak gets Wolves, Wilson gets United, Isak gets Arsenal. I don't know. He gets the next two, and then Wilson gets Bournemouth, and then they head off into another international break. Because that's they're capable. Like that squad is capable of just interchanging those two pretty easily. You don't get the same from Wilson as you do from Isak, but he's not an incompetent striker. I don't know. Is that the right word?
Yeah. I think what's going to happen here is that we are going to ignore Newcastle strikers all season because we're really worried about this. And loads of casual managers just get him in and get loads of points. But I think we'll still keep ignoring them because I think it's really, really difficult to put your mind to it, to do it. But, he's got 43 points now, technically. So if you add up the points between the strikers, Wilson and Isak, there's been 68 points from Newcastle strikers. Haaland has 55 points. Ollie Watkins has 59 points. The Newcastle number 9 is gold. You just
need to know which one it is.
Yeah. But it is gold. And we just need to try and find out if there's a way that we can try and tap into this. But I think that we will keep ignoring it. Gordon obviously comes back next week. They're still much higher on the left than they are on the right. If you watch their past maps, it looks like the danger place because probably it goes to the right and Trippier just bangs it.
Yeah, Trips just does what he does. There's no point in anyone being in front of him for too long.
Nah, Gordon's a good pick next week.
He's high on my radar.
Yeah, me too. And Palace, obviously, it's quite open. So therefore, yeah. Gordon's on the radar.
Moving on, Wolves versus Villa. Is Neto low-key like unbelievable now?
That there's a tough part on that in there around so let's just on those mate, great one in order today. Great one in every day, but obviously today it's absolutely flying into player v player. So we just talked about Gordon, and then you've got these sub £6 million midfielders, and then you've got Neto, and misses a big chance today.
Yeah.
Still gets himself, an assist, so he's still returning. He does have. So the home game is against Newcastle in game week 10, but either side of that, he's got away games against Bournemouth and Sheffield United. And I do look at it and think, why would I do Gordon when Neto's just sitting there? He's everything for them.
Yeah, very important. Furthest forward today, as you mentioned. And misses a big chance, so he's getting them.
And Bournemouth and Sheffield United. You yesterday were literally asking to increase the number of relegated teams this season. And I think Bournemouth and Sheffield United both be in that.
They were both in that. Yeah. They were both in that.
He's legit, mate.
He's what we wanted last season, wasn't it? He's everything we wanted last season.
And I don't know if you did see much, but when, that Emerson won for Souček earlier, they just walked past Trippier like it was nothing. Like for all the greatness he is for an FPL asset, he's a problem, at the back. He is an easy attack. They'll just, when they have got Newcastle at home in 10, they will be putting Neto over on that left side and say, you just go and roast it, mate. So I don't mind any of the next three, really, for Neto. He's solid.
Who plays on the left-hand side? Who's playing up top for Wolves today? I can't even work it out.
Huang?
They're just playing but well, not according to the pass map. Like, he wasn't taking any passes centrally. I can't even tell. Number 12, whoever that was, is the most central player furthest forward. That is
Cunha, isn't it? Cunha.
Oh, Cunha. Okay.
Yeah, Matthias Cunha.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But he pops up either. He's been playing mainly off the right this season, Pedro. But I wouldn't. Well, I don't mind it either way. If he's up against Dan Burn or if he's up against Trippier in that home game, and then the other two is like if he plays on the right next game against Bournemouth, if he plays on the right up against Kirkes, who's like 19, 20 years old, that feels proper fun. Okay.
Our options there, yeah.
Maybe one to put Neto over Gordon. They're close.
Again, you go back to this, like, who's going to score the goals for Wolves? And I know Hwang scored here, but Neto. Everything's being created by Neto, isn't it, really?
He's rather getting than chances Newcastle, as well.
It could be
he got 0.56 XG himself.
Yeah. God, we might end up going back there again.
Yeah. Just ignore the scars. There was a reason why we liked him at the start of last season, is because he's a really good player.
This is true.
And he's getting, he's getting there. But it could be a really good budget enabler. As Villa, one of the reasons why I'm also looking maybe at that one is if you can't get Watkins and Diaby in your team, how much more important is it to get Watkins?
I mean, we could have been. I mean, if you look at that last chance is not all Watkins, I don't think, but it might be.
I'm pretty sure it pretty much is.
Actually,
I'm pretty sure it is.
It must be, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
6 yards out, wasn't it? 6, 7 yards out.
And I'm pretty sure one of the earlier ones, which wasn't big, was an unbelievable save. That outside of the boot, like volley, was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It just.
Well, I'm not here for Diaby getting binned every 60 minutes.
Well, we know that he was carrying a bit of an injury, so I don't think that's.
Yeah, but when you've got someone like who came on for him today, was it Duran?
Zaniolo.
Did Duran not come on, or is he injured, or?
I don't think
he stayed on the bench. But Duran scored goals already this season with him just sitting there ready.
You've got Leon Bailey. You've got Cash can obviously play right wing as he did today. You've got Zaniolo. You've got the options for it. I'm just not sure. I can easily do Diaby in, but I'm just not sure that I don't just need Ollie Watkins. Really tough to take Julian Alvarez out before he plays Brighton, if I was to do it.
Just take Haaland out, mate. You'll be fine.
There you go.
Just take Haaland out. I mean, like, legitimately, if Wildcard has taken Haaland out, then what's the argument for keeping him? Like, not to say that obviously he's not a good pick, because Haaland's a good pick, but 0 XG in 2 games and 180 minutes. I mean, like, you've got to question, as you mentioned already, these tougher games. He will still score some points, but maybe not at the same frequency this season because, as you've mentioned, stuff about their creativity, they've got to change.
It does not feel right not having Ollie for this run that's coming up.
Yeah.
It don't sit well. He's good.
Talking of good.
He just loves flat track bullying, isn't he? He's just so good at it.
So, yeah. Well done to everyone. I say well done to everyone. I mean, if you had Sterling, I don't think you were going to be bidding him for this game. I just don't think that was ever going to be a possibility.
There was a lot looking for the news to try and understand whether he benched or not. I think predictors didn't look favourably on it. A lot of them had Mudryk and Palmer on the wings, and because obviously they've just had their first, they get the win on the Monday night, and so it's like we want back-to-back wins. You need moments, you need a bit of luck, and they got a bit of luck. Like the own goal is lucky, and then you get like a penalty, which in itself it's not lucky, but it's not like he was doing anything. Like he was just down the outside. He probably would have run out for a goal kick if he didn't do nothing with it. But it's a spark, and then from there on in, it's a really good last 30 minutes.
So they've played so they've played well so far this season against Luton, Fulham, and Burnley.
Flat track bully, Sterling. That's what he is.
Well, I mean, Sterling didn't return against Fulham because he didn't start, right?
No,
they came on and got booked.
But he got plenty of points in the others.
Yeah, against Luton and Burnley. So let's just check. I mean, like, you can see how long it is until he faces these guys again.
So that's what we're saying. We just got to keep it in our brain.
Yeah, I get that. I just don't want to get overexcited about a Chelsea team that have just beaten up on 3 shit defences.
Oh, rightly so, mate.
Yeah,
rightly so. So well done for you holding him. Would you go to Sterling off doing this?
No.
Nah, probably wouldn't. But I think he's still a good asset. And he has holes in him. He does it.
Yeah, well, I can't disagree with that.
Holes are worthwhile. You can get a hauler. Palmer. So again, it is interesting. Is it interesting enough that it's worthwhile, like going down on that money rather than a Neto or a Gordon?
I just don't see this. I just don't see there's any opportunity in the next 10 game weeks to play him. Would you have him in?
And you can't bench a penalty taker, can you? That's the problem. Now we know he takes pens.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to play him against Arsenal or Brentford or Spurs or City or Newcastle, Brighton at home, maybe, and then United away, maybe, and then Everton. I mean, there's just better options everywhere in every single game week.
So it's a 3-4-3 play on wildcard, isn't it?
I don't mind that because you're not getting any more than just him from Chelsea. So I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
Other than that, let's not get enticed.
Yeah. Did you say Dyche?
Let's not get enticed, but enticed.
Enticed. Everton. They're reaping the rewards of these this constant stream of XG they're creating. That's just like bang, 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 constant.
They've got good creators now. I didn't even know Jack Harrison was there. I'll be honest, I didn't know he was there. I had no idea he was there. I just suddenly saw, Harrison's. But James Garner's a baller. Jack Harrison can ball. Dwight McNeil can definitely ball. Like, they create a lot of chances. We talked about crosses earlier. You know, those guys, they're cross machines. Decore,
yeah,
it's like the day of sub £6 million midfielders for today. 5 chances, Decore. Highest, he's right up there, if not the number 9. You know, he's a 9.5.
It was absolute chaos. I mean, like, their pass map is just absolute forward chaos. It's not like there's a central point. It's just like everyone's there getting all of the ball, and we're all just doing all the stuff.
Getting all the ball, banging loads of crosses in, doing all the stuff.
And DCL almost scored the best goal of the weekend. I was gutted he didn't just wrap that one underneath the crossbar. And it's probably unlucky not to score, to be fair.
With McNeil and Harrison on the wings, they're good. I mean, Dwight McNeil, he's been so good since he's been there. You know, obviously he had the injury start of the season, but like, he put another 10 crosses in. He puts about 10, 11 crosses in every game. Like, just keeps banging them in. Decore and Calvert-Lewin will get some, but their fixtures now are just the worst. You know, we know that they've had a really good run, but the fixtures now are like,
a couple of tough ones. Away to Liverpool, away at West Ham, they've got away at Palace. They're only half decent fixture. I mean, the Palace one's okay. The Forest one at the beginning of December's okay, but that's away as well.
Beginning of December.
Exactly. Like... you say that 4 weeks of the next 6
Yeah.
is international breaks. So
Yeah, fair.
Pretty much.
You just can't go there.
No.
You just can't go there.
Paul says Everton versus Bournemouth must be time for the golf chat soon. Yeah, we spoke golf at the start. Okay. And Bournemouth, terrible.
They're terrible. Target Bournemouth.
Target Bournemouth now. Like
we talked enough about those last week about the fact that they're trying to do stuff that they can't do, and it's really bad.
Enough. Yeah, the players aren't good enough. Right, Fulham, Sheffield United. We're kind of really in the realms of 4 teams to come, like Fulham, Sheffield United, Palace, and Forest, where we're not really picking any of the players now. We've come to like the dregs of the game week.
Yeah, this is a baddie. Interestingly, on Willian, so our friend Pranil was looking around for someone, looking to see if he get news on Sterling. And if Sterling was benched, he was going to move him on. And I said, if you're going to, he's got wildcard in hand. I was like, if you're going to move him on, I'd just go Willian. Just go Willian, because you can just pick whoever you want against Sheffield United. I mean, left it late, obviously gets it and gets all the bonus at the end. I was like, it's hard not to.
I picked Pereira. I picked Andreas Pereira in So Rare this week just because it was Sheffield United. You can just target these promoted teams.
You can, when you're watching some of these teams, you can see just the quality difference in terms of the piece. That the technique on the ball from Pereira to Bobby Reid is like, that's good, man. that was a serious weighted ball. Real skill, and they got some good players. They're not idiots for them. They'll do enough. That we shouldn't completely lump them in with the trash. We know they've been all right, and it's just that they haven't got, now they've lost Mitro. They've just not got the goal scorers to do it. But they're well good enough to make enough of these. And obviously, once Sheffield United, once they lose Basham as well, which is
unfortunate.
He's not playing again. That's horrid for him. It's just, there's just no goodness here. This is a long season. It's long when, like, even when you get back in the game, then the guy falls over, does a ridiculous shot, and it hits your keeper on the back of the head and goes in. Yeah. You're like, this is in the league for me, mate. This is just bad.
Would you like to move on?
Move on.
And no goals, but I don't really know.
It
what
was
else
always
going
to be. I say it's before it started. It was like this was a 0-0. It was like the most obvious 0-0 the world's ever going to see.
Especially with Tyler injured, right?
Yeah, but I thought Forest were decent. I thought Forest, is they it just would, like, it just he can't do the job anymore.
He could have been so good, but
he could have been so good. He couldn't do the job. Murillo was like, he was magic. I loved him. He was just like such a fun centre back. But yeah, Hudson-Odoi, I thought was, again, they petered off a bit once he went off. There just wasn't enough options for Forest coming off the bench. But
he is just a fun. He's just a fun player, Hudson-Odoi. He's
good
pace, good skill, and can create things. Obviously, didn't really get a chance at Chelsea, but in Forest, he feels like he should be a big fish, and everything should kind of work around.
I think he will. I think he's probably just getting to fitness space. It's probably just getting a fitness space. But I thought for the first 65 minutes or so, that was the one where he picked the ball up. You were like, oh, okay, this is good. I thought that Nicolas Dominguez as well. They got some all right players, in Forest, and I thought they were easily the better team for most of it.
Sam Johnson did make a couple of ridiculous saves as well.
Ridiculous saves. So on it. We talked about pre-season about, like, he looks on it, and he was on it.
I am raging that Anderson didn't get 3 bonus though, and Gahey comes in and steals all the bonus, which is a bit annoying.
Gay and Mitchell were well higher on it. And I don't hugely, I didn't spend a lot of time on it because Judge, I was honestly, he created a big chance early on. That cross was fantastic. Like Ayew should have scored, and then obviously the whole thing's different. So I don't fully know because his pass combination was okay. That everything was all right, but
98 completed passes.
Mark Gahey though completes 101 out of 104 passes.
Yeah. There's definitely a difference in the pass because it's 90 to 100 is different from 80 to 89, right? So
yeah,
definitely.
So it helps. It helps. They recycle the ball just loads amongst those centre backs, just loads and loads and loads. So that therefore they were all pretty high on the baseline. It would be good for a lot of them, but yeah, Mitchell obviously was the cheapest guy out of them, and he was good. Mark Gahey obviously was just outstanding.
Am I seeing this right? That Mode picked Mitchell on his wild card.
Yeah.
Did he play him as well? He must have done.
Yeah. Oh mate, he's had an unbelievable week. Yeah, and he captained Son, and he still had an unbelievable week on his wild card. Yeah, he had a stunner. Yeah, he had 58. 58 was Son captain though.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, because he started Turner over Areola.
Yeah,
and then he had Mitchell in that one.
He started Turner and Mitchell. He literally went. This is going to be
an 0-0. Got it. 0-0. Got it. Fair play. I mean, that's the most important stuff we can talk about. It is how other people might have done out of that game.
Yeah.
Well,
that's where we are. I think we're pretty much done. I don't think there's anything else to add. Not really going to take any questions because we're taking 2 weeks off.
Nah.
We still have maybe have a podcast lined up. We're hoping to have a podcast lined up in the middle of next week. But again, that depends on availability for both of us. Obviously,
if we can meet up, might be a live podcast with us. Or not, maybe not live, but it'll be in person.
Yeah,
we're hoping.
Which will mean all that you see here will disappear and it will just be us two. But
cuddling.
Say again?
Cuddling.
Will
we cuddle? Yeah.
We can start with a cuddle. It'll be fine.
Good.
We'll still be top of the league. Yeah. So hopefully you guys have had a good game week. If not, then there's always next week. There is a quick question that says, who do you think will be the highest transfer in at this early stage? I think Salah, probably.
Yeah, because I just think as well, what Salah does today means that, again, we will see a significant amount of wildcards. So Salah will be on all those. It's really interesting that there's basically at the moment, there's like 5 players that have come in that are on 60,000 ins, which are Watkins, Cash, Maddison, Anderson, and Salah. And Trippier's on 56,000. What that's telling you is wildcards. That's telling you about 40,000 people have played a wild card so far, and they're all putting the same stuff in.
Yeah. Yep. There was somebody had asked earlier on about who had played what, like in what terms, in terms of chips and stuff like that. So the top 10K, 10% used, 10% used a wild card. So that's interesting. So now 35% of the top 10K have used their wild card, which is like the rest of the chips don't really matter, I don't think, for top 10K because that's why they're in the top 10K. But the wild card one, interesting, 7%. In fact, 30% of the entire game has used their wild card now.
Top 1 million is 42%.
Where are you getting that from?
FPL Gameweek. Good FPL Gameweek for that. You can do a filter that does top 1 million teams and top 3 million teams. So top 3 million is 38.8 and top 1 million is 42%.
Yes, you can. Shout out to FPL Gameweek for that.
FPL Gameweek's good for that. Really good for that.
Someone asked them to put the top 3 million in there. Like loads of content creators have gone, guys, we need a top 3 million. We're not in the top million. We need a top 3.
We are all about inclusive on this podcast, mate. We are all about inclusion. We don't judge. We don't judge.
Mark, did I plan my holidays with international break in mind? My wife organised a holiday, so it was a complete coincidence. She only just realised it like last week. She was wondering what football I was going to have to watch in Turkey, and I was like, "Oh, there's no football." She was
football,
very
so
happy.
Pure family time.
Yeah, which is good.
I also booked a holiday today.
Yeah, you did, and you did.
Scottsdale. I am coming back.
Outside of the season,
if you're listening to this, my friend Walshy booked up 30th of May next year.
Yeah, which means you won't miss a podcast this year.
No. So I'm here for Gameweek 38. Gameweek 39 is in the bin again. That's not happening. I'm off to America.
Good stuff. Good stuff. On the way out, like the video. Let us know what you scored this week. We're not really fussed about what you're going to do next week yet, to be honest. But if you want to see more from us, make sure you hit subscribe. Genuinely, still like half the people that watch us aren't subscribed. It's mental. Vote for us in the FCAs. And we'll see you in a week. Enjoy the international break. See you later.
Enjoy your holiday, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Just press the wrong screen.